We have arrived at our second seasonal stop, and this will be a sign of affection. My background on this is literally almost nothing, I feel like, as well, which is pretty good. I feel like shows are always more fun when you go into that. The only thing that I do know is I believe the main girl in this is deaf. So I'm assuming they're going to be doing a lot of stuff using like sign language and stuff to kind of communicate with her, and then I got nothing else from there. And we're gonna kind of just see how that goes. It's based on a shoujo manga, so I expect lots of good looking dudes to be involved. I guess we're just gonna end up seeing. The only thing I do know as well is I watched one of the trailers like when it first got announced, and the for whatever reason the males in the series look a little like weird, something about them, and it's not their design or anything. I think it's just like it's their lips or their mouth or something with the face. I remember throwing me off, and I'm like, this doesn't look too right. So I don't know if that's just the way that they were drawn before, or if for whatever reason they're animated in a different way, but I do remember that. So I'll point it out, I guess, if I see it again as we're going along here. By Studio Ajado, and I've never seen anything by them, so I got no kind of real reference point or anything. And I didn't seem to recognize any of the staff or anybody involved, so we're just gonna kind of go and see what we get, and hopefully it's a good experience. We've been needing some more romance on the channel. Gotta be honest, 100 Girlfriends was great last season, but it's not like the romance story I'm looking for, you know, like when we're going into this. So we've been missing out on that slot for a little bit. So hopefully this can really fill that back up for us, and I'm looking forward to it. If so, I'm not familiar with anybody else on the production company here, so we're just gonna kind of go with it, and if we get copyrighted and things go bad, then so be it. But we should be good, I would believe. So hopefully everything's all good. If you like it all, like and subscribe to mean a lot to me. Feel free to leave any comments about this episode of the series. Also stick around for the discussion at the end. Let's get going though with episode 1 of A Sign of Affection.
恋はこの雪みたいに音もなく降ってくるのかな。曇天の空から世界の色を変えながら。
That's a nice picture, man. Is it for personal use, or is this social media era? Well, I'm one for drama. I kind of hope it's just sweet story between these two and then some friends that are around, and there's no like insane shit that goes in. I just want something peaceful, you know? Can we get that, please? I really like this song. Yuki's World. Yuki's our main girl, I'm gonna assume. We mute all as we move over. Cool. Cool.
私の世界。
I got that from the title, yep.
可愛いワンピースがセールで手に入るなんて。
Nice.
あ、りんちゃんインスタアップしてる。
It is social media.
可愛いものと友達、大学。外国人。え、なぜ？
Oh.
あ、場所聞かれてる？
This must be so difficult. I've never even begun to think about that. Like, how do you begin explaining that? What a guy.
もうこの人どこかで。
You do?
そうだ、りんちゃんと同じサークルの人。
バイバイ。
Bye-bye.
助けてもらっちゃったな。
Does he know the sign language?
手話じゃなくて。
Doesn't appear so.
ま、せ。
あ。
口の動き読める？読めない？
近い。
そういう。
Oh, man.
さっきの人、日本語ペラペラ。
Ah.
そうだったんだ。珍しい生き物みたいに見てくる。
初めてこういう人に会った。降りる？降りない？
さっきより口の動き読みやすく動かしてくれてる。
Of course.
じゃあな。
Bye bye.
また
It's like similar to situations when other people have to like speak different languages and they can't like properly communicate, so they like speak slower, they like really sound out the things that they're saying so people can kind of understand it.
あの振動が自分の中から起きているものだと電車を降りてから気づいた。
Ah. She's feeling something that she's never felt. 6:30, god damn.
いってらっしゃい。気をつけてね。
Bye bye.
早うな。
I love the pacing of going in her own little world here.
あいつ。
God, dude, I'm getting all PTSD from the fucking silent voice. It just makes me hope nothing happens.
今日はまた一段と内容濃かったね。大丈夫だった？
Okay. There's this dude I'm kind of interested in.
この人？
Yes.
なるほ
From Canada. Oh, alright.
それであの大きな荷物いつおみさんか。
どね。ユキの顔かわいい。恋？
Maybe.
恋って早いよりんちゃん。じゃあ憧れか？
Yeah. Let's start. Let's start a little bit more basic.
そうなんじゃない？
そうか
Whole new world for her.
これが憧れ。
私もいるよ。憧れの人。
Ah.
いつおみさんのバイト先の店長。いとこなんだよ。
Is it the
いつお
dude
み
we
さん
saw
が
earlier?
お店はカフェバーなんだけど。
Oh.
もう一度会ってみたい。
So any excuse I can get.
やばい、待って待って。
Just freaking out thinking about going.
すごい緊張しちゃうの。連絡先も毎回聞けないし。
りんちゃんにそんな一面が。
次は頑張れる気がする。
We do it together. We're stronger when we have friends with us. Alright. Lock in. Oh,
ユキ。よ
I like it.
ーし。
I like it.
任せといて。ユキの1年生最後の最大クエスト。
Let's
お互いの連絡先聞
go.
くぞ。
Be great, ladies. It's this night before preparation. I love it. The quest. I love it.
あら、
God, she's great.
こんな時間にどこか行くの？
Mmm.
気をつけてね。もう暗いんだから。
See you later, soldier. God, I'm so nervous. I feel like I shouldn't be, but I am. Do not do anything to Yuki, please.
今日の服。
No, 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 you're
変じゃ
fine. You're
ないよ
fine.
ね。
You're fine. I'm in the art style right now, but. The snow begins to fall. Oh shit. The boy. Nice.
恋はこの雪みたいに音もなく降ってくるのかな。曇天の空から
Sometimes.
世界の色を変えながら。
Usually is the case.
雰囲気違う。
It's because he's working. He probably doesn't want to fucking be
いつおみ
there.
さんこないだ電車でユキを助けてくれてありがとう。
お、あれ
You told her about that?
いらっしゃい。また来てくれたの？
Oh no.
私のことだ。
As you slowly drift. Oh, buddy, you're a little bit handsy with her.
酒飲む？飲まない？
びっくりした。結
Yeah,
構
let's
強
not
い
just.
な、いつおみさん。
There's other ways to get people's
あ、そう
attention.
だ。オーダーまだだった。
Yeah, you just been kind of sitting there. Write down what you want.
あれ、
Just from something so simple.
さっきのもポジティブな意味で解釈してしまいそうになる。
Posted looking out, that could be weird.
いつおみさんってトリリンガルなんだよ。
トインカム？
書くね。
The man who speaks 3 languages and the one who can't. Ah.
すごい。
Oh, now you're just showing off. Now you're just showing off. You're just showing off, buddy. You're gonna get all the praise too, though.
いらっしゃいませ。
Uh-oh. Here comes the crowd. This is what I was nervous over. Oh. Oh. It's not what you want to say.
外国人のグループ、挨拶
Maybe it's like a cousin, even then.
きっと私の知らない世界を、私の知らないいろんな世界を見てきた人なんだ。
But that's the joy in meeting other people. Everybody goes through different things.
りんちゃんも
Let's
改めて
go!
よろしくね。
よろしくお願い。
How did she manage to set that up? You barely get the words out.
りんちゃん
Yeah,
どういう感
that's
じ
what I want to know.
文字にしたらなんか重いような
Mm,
聞けなかった。
it's a hard thing to ask for. Especially in a situation like that. And after what you just witnessed. Like, it's not necessarily the easiest. Mm.
リン俺もう上がりだから送る送らない
もち送るで。
Yeah.
私
Yeah,
めちゃ
come
くちゃだからユ
along.
キもお願い。そんなリン
Lies.
が、ば、
This is your chance. Your one-on-one opportunity. What a guy, though. Respect. He didn't have to do all this. Okay. Be great. Good luck, soldier. She's literally throwing you into the middle of it. Oh, shit. Out the way.
バイク、びっくりした。
Yeah, why is she walking closer to the road? Let's figure that out first. There you go. There you go. Good shit, my guy. Gotta be careful with it.
大きなって、
Hmm.
雪とセットの外気で感覚なくなりそうな指先が、もう、熱い、出せないけど、
It's just a feeling at
出
this
さないでい
point.
てほしいっていることが侵食して伝わってしまわないかな。
Aww.
いいよって
Eyes.
手話でどうやんの
Aww. We did learn he loves to learn languages, so this is a great opportunity. Nice. Well, you go. You want it. Are you happy? Okay. Don't ask about the girl earlier. Oh, okay. I think it's fucking huge. I don't even think most people can comprehend it.
いつおみさんから、いつおみさんから見る世界はどれくらい広いんだろう。
Hmm. My man smooth with it. That's how they look at each other when he knows he just had a fucking banger. Oh. Aww.
私の世界に何の脈絡もなく現れたこの感情のやませ方なんて私は知りたくない。
Hmm. Love is blooming in the air.
誰か探してるとかそんなんじゃねえって
What the fuck is it, dude?
指先から伝わってくる。伝えていく。この世界で。
Okay, I really enjoyed that. Like a ton. I'm also a little bit limited on time, so if the discussion gets kind of cut short, you know why, and I apologize for that, but I'm going to try and speed through things as much as I can here so I can get through, because I think there's a decent bit that I do want to talk about. Personally, my only exposure to a series or something involving a character, specifically like almost a lead character in a way, being deaf and, you know, struggling with communication in a way like this is from a silent voice, but they display it very differently. So I want a clear distinction that these two, so far, at least through the beginning of this, it's a very different type of told story. We specifically follow Yuki in this situation and go through her day-to-day life, right? We don't draw too much attention to all the unnecessary things that kind of comes along with her inability to be able to hear, right? We don't make a huge deal out of it. We don't display, you know, a lot of struggles that maybe she's having or others are having. And while she is having some, it all comes in the form of us just kind of watching her day-to-day life kind of unfold and come to a point where she experiences her first love in a way. And then that becomes the issue because she has to enter somebody else's space in a way, right? She has to actually figure out a way to properly communicate and do all these things. But instead of us drawing attention to all these people kind of meeting her and, you know, questioning it or treating her a different way or doing whatever, we instead get to meet somebody as Itsuomi. He lets things unfold. He lets things go at her pace. He is willing to accommodate for all these things, and he does whatever he can to kind of be respectful and communicate openly with this person in any sort of capacity in a way that he can. And I think that's really cool. I think they highlight something specifically about making it like her world in a way, right? The entirety of the episode follows us kind of enclosed almost in her world. We have a lot of muted sounds. We have a lot of certain sounds that are a lot more audible, just like different things going on where we can kind of almost feel like we are kind of enclosed within her own world and these things that maybe she might be experiencing or feeling. And it's just fun to kind of go through her experience, right? It's something kind of different, and we get to learn and kind of observe just how somebody else who's probably lived their entire life is kind of going through something like this as the norm. And we get to kind of experience that with her. And then now as she has this first love type of thing being introduced to her, she has to kind of navigate, and we get to go through all like the awkward stages and things that kind of come along with that, and especially of her like trying to figure out how do I properly make like a move or do something like this, or, you know, approach this person, or like how do I interact and all that. And we get to see that displayed through her friend as well, who also wants to and is completely shaking and struggling to get her own words out. So even in a situation where this one girl literally can't speak to do these things, the other one at the same time basically can't either. And is struggling entirely, even though she's fully capable of it, which I think is really fun, just to show that like how these certain emotions and certain things can put people on like such similar levels in a way, and their inabilities to kind of do things can really be so normalized, I guess, in a lot of different situations, and I think it showcased here. And I thought that was just a fun moment. But as we talk about more, especially at the end with bringing people into the worlds and her kind of being so curious to the large and vast world that's kind of out there, that she feels she's probably missing all these different experiences and things because she has to stay kind of limited and stuck within her own little box, or she always just has been. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to learn a little bit more about her, but I think it's like a great thing to think about, especially when you have somebody like our male lead here who is so like outgoing, right? Going backpacking all the time in Canada, like they were saying, or, you know, learning all these different languages and interacting with these different people and treating, you know, talking to all these foreigners or doing whatever. And he's so capable of so many different things, and he seems to be so out there in a way. So of course you're going to wonder, of course this person has all these experiences and these things and everything that they kind of want to maybe other people kind of look at and they fantasize in a way and wish they could kind of be or put themselves in that situation. And this guy's out here living it and just thinking about how different their lives can really be, how different the world that each of them kind of see are, while hers has probably been so restricted to just seeing the things within maybe the town that she's from or wherever that she's always lived or whatever it is, just being kind of locked into this. He's seen so many different, people that come in all different sorts of variations. And it's such a interesting thing for her, I guess, to really think about and want to kind of explore further into somebody else's world like that. And I think that being able to have somebody like him look at her and be like, let me into yours, because he wants to learn more about her situation, the things that she's always been through and the position that she's kind of been stuck within probably her entire life, because it is just such a different experience and he's so kind of accepting or understanding of that. And I think that that's a really, really sweet thing. And I think it's a great way to kind of look at it, how a lot of times you like look at other people. It happens a lot with like celebrities and stuff. Like you look at them, you'll be like, I wish I had like that life, or I wish I was like that person, or I could be in that situation or something. And then a lot of times those people don't want to be like that either. A lot of times other people want to be like somebody else who lives a little bit more of a normal life or something else completely. And even if they don't want to, they would be interested enough to at least step into that person's world and kind of learn about them and learn kind of, it also helps just gain a better understanding of that person entirely when you can kind of put yourself in their shoes for a little bit, at least, or try and understand them. But I don't know, it's really an interesting thing, I think, to kind of keep an eye on, or at least think about, because it definitely happens, and you definitely see other people, and that's such the joy in it, right? Like that's the joy of finding other people like that and being able to kind of learn about them or be exposed to these things that you never would have if this person never really came about, or maybe you wouldn't have taken that chance or that leap to be able to get out there and actively like kind of learn about these things or be involved in any sort of way. And I think that's awesome. The OP and a lot of the animation and stuff that comes along with it's like normal. Like I don't think it's anything too crazy. This is a very cute scene, especially at the end here, which I really, really like. And we get introduced basically to all the characters and stuff that we're going to kind of see. I do wonder if it's just going to be a lot of like one-on-one relations that we kind of get, or if we're going to dive further into like introducing a lot of drama or a third person that tries to be interested in like Yuki, or coming between the relationship, or there is like that other girl that we end up seeing later and the way that she kind of acted. And I don't know. I wonder if all that stuff's going to play some sort of role to kind of add a little bit of spice to kind of what's going on here. I almost hope there's not. I don't know. I just something so straightforward, I think, is such a excellent way, and it has a concept of people who are entirely different in some sort of way that they can kind of introduce themselves or give them like this own life in a way that they probably haven't really had before, and haven't really been exposed to. So I think it works as like a concept to just solely focus on them without having to go too over the top or put somebody like this real big barrier kind of between them. That's another thing that Itsumi, I think, is like really, really good for, and I really like him so far, is because he doesn't treat her disability in any sort of way as like this barrier that he has to cross, and he doesn't treat it as like this thing that's coming between them and prohibiting him from actually like interacting, communicating with her, and he's like accommodating to it, and he's speaking slower and trying to allow her to kind of understand that, or he's willing to write on things or text her or do whatever, right? Like he's doing whatever he can, like even in the moments when she's like not paying attention or whatever, he's like giving her like, he's like like touching her on the head or like whatever, right? Like he's trying to do all these things and kind of just be accommodating for her, and allow her to feel as normalized as possible in those moments and not treat her any different, which I think is really awesome. But yeah, we start off here, we get to see introduced her to a little bit with like friends, and then this is where the whole introduction comes, because she struggles with communicating to this other person, of course. At this moment too, when she gets off, so we reveal here she's wearing hearing aids and stuff, so excuse me for my ignorance that's going to come in here, because maybe I've just literally haven't been aware, but I've literally always been under the impression in my life that hearing aids are used as ways to allow them to hear sounds, but also to hear things of other people, whether it's in limited capacity, but still in a way that they could still maybe understand and hear these things from these people. So while she wouldn't be able to actually vocalize herself, she is able to, understand and hear them without having to concentrate heavily on the lips or anything. But we don't go through and use that. So are we playing into something where they just don't work, or am I just ignorant entirely and that's not how they work at all and I don't understand them? But then if that's the case, why is she wearing them? But if it's not for voices and stuff, is it just to kind of amplify the sounds and the things around her so that she can kind of hear them. I mean, that would make sense, but then we have the whole scene at the end where she almost gets hit by the fucking car. So like, I feel like that's one of those things that would be amplified in a way that she could hear. So I don't know, maybe my misunderstanding of the way that hearing aids and these things should be, I don't know, the functions of them is wrong. So maybe somebody can kind of explain that. That would be pretty cool. The first interactions here, I like the style changes, and I think that they work really well. And they make the characters kind of come off really well. I think Yuki's character design is really, really cute, and I actually like it a lot. The male things, this is what I was talking about, is for whatever reason when I look at them, it's just, I can't describe it properly. There's something about them and the way that their faces are drawn that is different from all the girls within the show that just is weird to me. Like, it doesn't look right. But at the same time, it could also be ways to make the lips and everything kind of bigger and allow, you know, for the moments when he's trying to like make his words, like allow her to like read his lips and everything so that the viewer and stuff can kind of understand and see that as well. But at the same time, I don't know if that's the case. I'm noticing, you know, it's just something about them looks a little bit off there. At this moment, she notices, or I like the thing too of her not noticing the heartbeat until she gets off or until they get to the next stop or something, and thinking that it was just the train or something along the way that was kind of happening, because you assume in these situations when you lose one of your senses in these things, typically a lot of people kind of gain one of them a little bit more, right? Or one of them gets amplified a little bit more. So having her not recognize something like that in this situation until later on is like a really, really cool thing, because it is such like a new experience and everything for her. I love this. They mute like all the things. You just hear like the silent sounds, right? There's like nothing going on in the background. There's no music like or anything kind of really going along, and just how the way that she like kind of interacts normally and treats things within her mom, I think is really, really cool. And I also love the inclusion of her having like friends and having like a normal day-to-day life. We're not depicting somebody who's kind of this loner who has absolutely nobody, who's like secluded, and you know, we have to introduce somebody else and then bring them into this vast world of these people that they can meet. Instead, we have somebody who has a solid foundation in these things already with these friends and these people around her that it seems like she's kind of talking to, and you know, a family situation that seems probably okay and everything. And instead, we're going to introduce her to somebody who does have a more vast view on the world and all these things that he's kind of experienced. But we don't have to pull her from nothing to do that. We can have her in like a solid sitting thing before we end up doing that, which I think is really, really great. We find out Ren in the situation really likes the friend, so both of them make plans to be able to go out and do this, and I really, really love that. Her having a quest here is fucking funny. Writing it down, I absolutely love that, and then saluting the mom as she ends up heading off. I think that's also great. We end up getting here into the big portion for the most part of the episode that takes up a lot of time. Ren completely freezes up when she sees the guy that she ends up liking, and then we go through a whole struggle almost of Yuki feeling kind of left out in a way, having to feel the distance kind of grow between them as somebody has to explain, you know, the things and the way that you have to like kind of interact with her and stuff. And of course it's going to make her feel down and bad about it, so Buddy has to reach out and kind of do something about it, you know, get a hold of her and her attention. Now there's other ways. It's a little bit weird, you know, that he keep touching her, but at the same time she seemed to be okay with it, and she only looks at the positives and the things about you, so it is whatever. We introduce Buddy learns a lot of languages and things, and you know how he interacts with all these people. I'm assuming the way that the girl came up and like kissed him on the cheek and everything's just kind of a greeting and stuff from wherever it is that she's from. If not, I have absolutely no idea. And then somehow Ren's able to get the number, and Yuki ended up not. Perfect opportunity set up. We set them two up, and we're able to walk home, and at the last moment Yuki's like, I can't let this shit slide from me, and is able to get the contact information, which I think is great. Her little jumps here at the end when he basically is like okay with it and asked to be let inside her world, and her just jumping up and down of excitement and everything here, I think it's the cutest thing, and I really, really enjoy that. That makes me very, very happy of a scene for us to be able to see. Buddy over here has got some issues. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm not even going to begin to speculate, but we introduce some characters and different things, the warmth of the fingertips and stuff, and him kind of looking at his hands, and it's going to introduce him learning things, probably with sign language and other things, and him just feeling kind of excited about the moment that he's in here with her. The ED, the art and stuff is pretty standard, I would say, but it is a pretty cute thing, and it makes me excited to see what's to come. I'm very much out of time. I apologize for having to speed through that. Absolutely loved it though. I hope you guys did too. I'll be back for episode 2 1,000,000% next week. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like and subscribe to me a lot. Feel free to check out the other videos in the channel. Let me know in the comments about this episode of series. I'll be back for the second one next week. So you have a good one. Peace.